Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Chauskas. Today is the 23rd of July 2018. So welcome everyone to this afternoon session where we are going to have a look at a few instruments that I believe are quite important to have a look at this point because they're building up quite nicely for a possible trade. So we're going to have a look at that, but before we do that, of course, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Also, before we jump into the charts, quick reminder of our JFD Brokers research page where you can go and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis. We throw out different trading technical analysis and then of course our daily morning analysis that we produce every morning. So yeah, feel free to check us out and I believe you can find something useful here for yourselves. Good. So, but for now, let's have a look at those instruments. Now, the first one I want to touch on actually is the Shanghai composite. Now, this one technically is building up nicely for a possible trade here, for a possible long trade. Now, judging by this, we can see that we had our reversal here around this level, around the 2720 mark, approximately there. So we've managed to reach the lows on the 6th of July. We managed to reach the lows of around 26.95 mark, and from then, yeah, we reversed back up here. It met its resistance at around the 28.46 mark, so approximately there, so 28.46. And it met its resistance here. It also coincided here with the 21 EMA, retraced back to the downside and then popped again to the upside. So we can see a nice move here, breaking this key area of resistance and now kind of moving higher. So certainly at this point, looking at this picture, we could potentially start aiming for this for these higher levels, especially around the 29.40 mark. This could be the next potential area of resistance. And if you've noticed here, we do have this downside resistance line running here since around the 29th of January this year. So this also could play out as a nice area of resistance, but for now, like I said, keep an eye on this first level, on this 29.40 mark. So potentially could be a nice trade here. So if you do actually want to trade this this idea, then something like this could be possible. So if we, let's say, enter a position somewhere around here, of course have our stop loss just slightly below the 21 EMA, just to give it a bit of room, and then target the upper side here of this downside resistance line. So certainly as well at this point, you could actually, if you want, you can actually lift your stop loss, become a bit more riskier, but nevertheless, I mean, this could play out nicely as a possible trade here, and a nice long trade we could be seeing here, I mean, reaching this this downside resistance line. So keep an eye on this, guys. Certainly this is just an idea, but nevertheless could be interesting to see if it actually works out or not. But at this point in time, we can see that we've broken this key area of resistance at around 28.46, and now it seems like it wants to push higher. Looking at another one, and that's going to be WTI now. So sorry, WTI, the Brent, I do apologize. The Brent oil is at an interesting spot. So we are hanging around this this upside support line, this long-term upside support line that has been running since around the 22nd of June last year, and certainly at the moment it just cannot decide whether it wants to go higher or actually wants to continue moving lower. So we need to kind of wait for a clear signal here in order to kind of take a longer position. So a good possible long trade could be seen if we get a nice break here above this area here, the highlighted area, a nice break above and a close above this could actually confirm the upside potential, an upside scenario. We could end up moving higher here towards these previous highs at around 79.15, or even actually eventually reaching the 80.50 mark, which was marked here by the highest points of May. So keep an eye on that, of course, but only if we get a nice close above this area right here, guys. So keep an eye on it. On the downside, well, for us to kind of become more bearish on the longer term, we would need to see not only a move below this level right here, the 72.50, but also actually a nice good move and a close below the 71.25 mark. Now, this area could be a very important area of support, but if that gets broken, I mean, it is opening the path towards lower levels, initially of course hitting the 200 EMA, and then maybe actually even moving lower below that towards the 66.95 mark, which was seen here as a nice area of support around the beginning of April. So keep an eye on this, guys. At the moment, of course, probably we're going to stay neutral just to and wait and see if this actually wants to stay above this upside support line, this long-term upside support line, or does it actually going to act as a nice area of resistance, and then we'll see another decline here lower. So that's what I'm saying. For now, guys, keep watching it. Don't rush into it. Let's see what it wants to do with these key levels first. Another one that I really wanted to touch on, guys, is Bitcoin. Now, with this one, it's of course it's up and down, has been recently up and down, but nevertheless, I mean, we can see now that we have started moving higher and we started taking out some key areas of resistance. So I was talking about this one in a few videos ago, and I was talking about these key levels, and this is where it became interesting when we, on the 17th of July, we actually broke this key area of resistance at around 68.50. And then we kind of moved higher, and now we're testing this one, the next potential area of resistance. This, well, actually not a potential anymore, but this next key area of resistance, which already has been tested, but still kind of continues to hold the price down. So let's see if it actually breaks it and closes above that level. Then that level is around the 77.70 mark. So at the moment, of course, guys, keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on this key area of resistance. Let's see if it actually breaks it or not. And if it does break it, and if Bitcoin stays above this level, then, well, it is kind of raising the probability of hitting this this level here, this 86.27 mark approximately there, which will probably at the same time, if it gets here, of course, by the time it would get here, it would coincide with this 200 EMA, which also could be another good area of resistance for this one. So basically, now we would be watching this level right here, the 86.27 approximately there. You can, of course, if you want, you can round it up slightly, put it to 86.30. Just to kind of, you know, have it as a nice round number. So yeah, guys, keep an eye on the 86.30. Could be a nice potential area of resistance if we get a nice break here above this level here, the 77.70. And this is how you could potentially position yourselves here for a possible trade. So something like this could be possible. And actually, if you target the 86.30 mark, 86.30 mark, I do apologize, 86, and then have your stop loss somewhere around these lows, you could still have a decent risk-reward ratio, and you could eventually, like I said, aim for these highs, and maybe we could actually see a nice profit here coming in, especially given the fact that I was just mentioning that this 200 EMA could potentially play out as a nice target and a nice potential area of resistance. So keep an eye on this scenario, guys. This is something that could play out eventually. Another pair that I really wanted to touch on is the EURCHF. So the EURCHF has recently broken its upside support line. Let me put a 4-hour chart on this one. Probably it will be easier to view it. So we can see that there was an upside support line running here since the 29th of May, and we have managed to break it to the downside. We we've closed below it, of course, and now we are testing this key area of support, the psychological level of 116. So 1.16 is kind of, at the moment, it's proving to be as a very nice area of support. We can see it acted as a nice support here on the 18th of July, then it acted on the 9th of July. So basically it has struggled to break through this level, but the question, of course, here, maybe this is going to be the time when we're going to see that decline. And if we do get a nice break here below, now only then we're going to probably start examining this downside potential. And of course, another good confirmation for the downside could be a break below this 200 EMA here, shown as the black line. And we can see that on the 4-hour chart, it's also not far from the psychological 116 level. So in that case, basically, guys, this is how you could eventually position yourselves. The next potential target here could be this 115.45 mark. So keep an eye on that one. Certainly, if that doesn't hold, we do have some better levels here below the 115.300. And of course, if we're going to go lower here, we do have a very good strong area of support at around 114.78 mark, approximately there. So keep an eye on this, guys. Certainly initially, if we do get a break here below the 116 level, then yeah, initially we will be targeting the 115.45 mark. So something like this could be possible. This is a possible trade here where you could eventually enter a trade slightly below the 116 mark and then have your stop loss around the 116.300, 350, something like that, and then of course initially aim for this 115.45 mark as your TP. But we could actually, if we'll see that this level doesn't hold, or the pair does really want to break it, then we will probably aim for lower levels. So for now, this is the idea, this is the possible scenario. Of course, you'll be the judge where to put your stop loss and how to kind of trade this, but nevertheless, like I said, just wanted to run it by you guys and show you what's possible. And another one really wanted to touch on is the AUDNZD. Now this one is a very good one, and let's have a look at the daily chart. Now we can see that the pair kind of is holding on to its upside support line. This upside support line has been running since the 12th of April, and since then we were just creating higher lows on this one. And yep, we've been moving higher, but at the moment we can see a bit of weakness coming into this pair, and we could eventually kind of try and monetize on this weakness if we get a nice break here below this key area here that I've got highlighted at around 1.0855 mark. Now if we do get a nice break here below, you can see that it also coincides with this 200 EMA, with the 50 EMA. So basically this could be another good confirmation for this pair to move lower if we get a close below this level, below this 108.55. And this is the potential trade idea setup that I've got marked here. So the target could be this area here at around 107.880 mark. So 1.0780 could be your initial target, and where also probably the pair could touch this upside support line, and of course have your stop loss somewhere around here, just maybe slightly around the 109 mark, maybe slightly above it a little bit. But nevertheless, this, like I said, this is the area to watch, and keep a close eye on this 108.55 mark. If we do get a move lower, and if we do get a nice close, especially on the daily chart here, if we do get a nice close below that level, this could potentially confirm a move lower towards this upside support line. So guys, that's probably it for today. These are the pairs, and these are the instruments actually that I really wanted to quickly run by you, and I hope you found it useful. So please join me tomorrow morning at my Traders Espresso at 6 o'clock GMT time, 7 o'clock British Summer Time. But for now, I hope you have a good US session for those who trade the US session, and yep, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.